You clicked on this for the weirdest moments in wrestling, and trust me, you're about to get exactly that. Not just the stuff you've already seen clipped into memes, but the full chaos, the context, and the kind of moments that make you question whether wrestling is a sport, a soap opera, or just one long fever dream that nobody bothered to wake up from. We're starting off in a place that already feels off. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, whatever name you prefer. Sometimes it doesn't build to weird, it just jumps straight into it. And then you've got Randy Orton, a guy known for being cold, calculated, methodical. A predator. Except this time, he just snaps into something else entirely. Full gorilla mode. The energy shifts, the movements get wild, and suddenly this isn't the composed Orton people expect. And somehow, Kane, of all people, ends up overpowering him. That alone feels like a glitch in reality. Speaking of glitches, Titus O'Neil decides to go just a little too hard in a moment that probably didn't need that level of intensity. It's one of those situations where you can see it happening in slow motion, like this is about to go wrong, and then it does.
Oh gosh.
The kind of wrong that makes everyone watching wince at the same time. But nothing, and I mean nothing, matches the energy of Paul Heyman just casually showing up with that look. You know the one. The stare. The admiration. The way he looks at Ryback like he's witnessing something divine. It's almost uncomfortable how intense it is. Like, forget wrestling storylines for a second. Get someone who looks at you the way Heyman looks at his clients. Then there's Vince McMahon, who has never really needed help making things weird. But this time, he takes it somewhere else entirely, dropping that line about the product of my semen and revealing his son Shane in the most unnecessarily graphic way possible.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon and the product of my semen, my son Shane.
You don't even need commentary. The camera cuts to Shane's face, and that says everything. Pure confusion mixed with, why are we doing this? And just when you think it can't get more absurd, you get one of the most iconic internet moments ever. John Cena with the "Are you sure about that?" line. On its own, it's already meme-worthy. But when you actually see the full clip, the context somehow makes it even more ridiculous.
The eye of the tiger.
He does have the eye of the tiger.
Are you sure about that?
The intensity, the build-up, the scream. It's like he's trying to summon something instead of cut a promo. Meanwhile, The Rock walks into the Appa's office and immediately questions reality. Because instead of, a normal door, they've got a wall you just walk through. No explanation, no logic, just vibes. And honestly, it works.
You could have knocked on our door, you walked right through our wall.
The absurdity becomes the whole point. Someone really sat down and said, yeah, instead of a door, let's just have people walk through a wall and nobody stop them. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, doesn't need props to make things weird. He just opens his mouth. When he says he's coming hard for Seth Rollins, it's one of those moments where everyone collectively pauses.
Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
Like, did he just say that? And from Brock, of all people, there's no walking it back. It just hangs there. Then you've got Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, a rivalry that was already intense, but somehow it gets even stranger when things take a turn nobody expected. And right around that same era of chaos, you've got Al Snow literally wrestling a mannequin head. Not a metaphor, not a nickname, an actual head. In a hardcore match. He's throwing it around, selling it like it's alive, and even manages to botch a table spot against it so badly that the commentary team just stops. Matt Riddle steps into that same awkward energy with a promo that completely derails itself. You can see the thought leave his brain mid-sentence. He starts somewhere, tries to pivot, brings up scooters in Japan for no reason, and then just admits he forgot what he was saying.
You think people like these in Japan? You think scooters are big in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying.
Bruh.
It's painful, but also kind of impressive in its own way. At least Asuka manages to recover when she blanks, playing it off like nothing happened. But things go from awkward to genuinely uncomfortable at Tina Victory Road 2011. Jeff Hardy comes out, and immediately something feels wrong. He's stumbling, off balance, clearly not in the right state to perform. The referee throws up the X, which is never part of the show, it's real. Eric Bischoff rushes out, music mismatched, trying to salvage the situation on the fly. Sting is confused. The crowd is catching on.
Slight change of plans here, ladies and gentlemen.
And in a matter of seconds, what was supposed to be a main event turns into damage control. They improvise. They reframe the match as no disqualification. They try to mask it as storyline, but everyone knows. Sting gets the message, end it quickly, and when he does, it's abrupt. Less than 2 minutes. Jeff is left sitting there. The crowd is angry, and the whole thing feels like something that shouldn't have happened at all. It's not just weird, it's one of those moments that leaves a mark. But wrestling doesn't stay grounded for long, because somehow we go from that to a match that ends in the Gulf of Mexico. CM Punk and Chavo Guerrero fight their way out of the arena, across parking lots, onto the shore, and the only way to win is to throw your opponent into the water. It's chaotic, cinematic, and completely ridiculous. And if that's not enough, there's a match where Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler wrestle in a pool of gravy. Yes, gravy. It's Thanksgiving themed, there's a food fight, and the only way to win is to pin or submit your opponent in it. And somehow, it's for a championship. Then comes the 2020 Money in the Bank match, which throws out every rule and replaces it with pure chaos. Instead of a ring, the entire WWE headquarters becomes the battlefield. Wrestlers fight in gyms, offices, conference rooms. Edge Styles gets trapped under weights and just gets out. There's an Undertaker-themed room for no reason, a fake briefcase moment, a full-on food fight. And somehow, it all leads to the roof, where Rey Mysterio gets thrown off like we just witnessed something criminal. And in the middle of all that, Otis wins. Of course he does. The WLC match takes things in a different direction. Smaller wrestlers, smaller props, everything scaled down. It starts as a joke, but quickly turns into something genuinely impressive. The crowd gets into it. The action delivers. And somehow, it ends up being one of the most entertaining matches of the night. But then Triple H and Shawn Michaels end up in a courtroom segment that feels like it belongs on daytime TV. It's chaotic, over the top, and completely detached from wrestling reality.
Oh, little Judge Judy. I'm not. Christ!
Just like Kurt Angle deciding the best way to deal with Big Show is a tranquilizer gun.
Oh my! That's a tranquilizer!
And then there's the infamous eye for an eye match, a concept so bizarre that even the execution couldn't save it. The ending is so uncomfortable that Seth Rollins looks like he's about to throw up. But wrestling doesn't stop there. There's a match with a Viagra bottle hanging above the ring, a literal prize. Then there's a match on the back of a moving truck, speeding down a highway, with no ropes, no safety, just chaos. John Cena, for all his greatness, has his moments too, like when he turns a promo into a full Star Wars parody, comparing himself to Luke Skywalker and Vince McMahon to Yoda. It's ambitious, but not in a good way. And just when you think you've seen everything, Elmo shows up and hits a Canadian destroyer. At that point, you just accept that nothing makes sense anymore. Jey Uso stumbles through a promo that clearly wasn't planned, leaving everyone unsure whether to laugh or just move on.
Man, look, I don't believe him because he left them raggedy ass sketches in the ring, cuz I'm a gold, so I don't fuck. I'm cussing.
Give us a yeet and be on your way, okay?
Bruh.
That was not planned. Thank you, Jey Uso.
Rico practically volunteers for Rikishi's stink face, going out of his way to take someone else's spot. And somehow, that's not even the strangest thing, because yes, there's a match where a grown man wrestles a child. Context says it's a comedy exhibition, but it's still surreal. And even more surreal, it's actually a good match. Then there's Hell in a Cell 2019, where a no disqualification match ends in a disqualification. The crowd is furious, confused, and rightfully so. And finally, you've got the Invisible Man match.
For the Invisible Man making his way to the ring.
No opponent, just reactions, sound effects, and a referee committing fully to the bit. And somehow, the crowd goes along with it.
Rendsburg has followed them into the balcony.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
No. Oh! Oh! Through the table! Cover 2 and 3!
That's wrestling, where logic takes a back seat, reality gets optional, and the weirdest moments become the ones nobody can forget.